All right, good morning. Good morning. Welcome along to FB Live. Whew. It is a Wednesday morning, the 14th of January 2026. Already halfway through, well, one day short, but pretty much halfway through the first month of the year, which just shows how fast time goes. Rapid. I'll be honest, I've been super busy the last couple of days and I just haven't had the time to prepare for today's show. So what I thought I would do for today's show is I'll just get some random questions, ask ChatGPT to be honest, and just get some random questions fired at me, and then I'll answer them. And what I really would love is your thoughts and your opinions, or get your answers to these same questions. So if that works out, let's start and try with that. So I've got a variety of fitness, sports, and performance-based questions. Got some wellness questions, some random questions, yeah. So there's about 20 questions. Just agree, disagree. If you can relate, chuck it in the comment section. Let me know if you have an experience, or yeah, just drop a simple yeah, nah down there, and happy days. I'd love to hear your stories too, by the way. So let's kind of get into it. 20 quick fire questions. That's what today's show is all about. Whew, see if I know anything about fitness. Okay, well, just opinion. It's just opinions. Okay. So first one, if someone only has 20 minutes a day, what should they do, and what should they stop doing? Really good question off the bat. 20 minutes, I am always just about, if it's physical, just do some body weight exercises. Do the most basic things you can do. One is walking, because it's so simple, right? Get a 20-minute walk in, do that. Do a little routine where you lunge, or you squat, or you simply bend forward, touch your toes, or touch your shins if that's all you can do. Move side to side. So my biggest things are do anything that work the legs as far as exercise. So yeah, well, squat, grab a bag, just do some curls with a bag. Really simple. 20 minutes is not long, and you just divide it into a simple section. So spend 5 minutes just mobilizing. Right? Lifting arms up, things like that, open up the chest, lift the knees up, get the body moving. And then you got 10 minutes, spend 60 seconds doing 10 different movements. And then afterwards, do another 5 minutes, literally mobilizing the body again, moving the body, or stretching, if you want to call it stretching. To do that, the biggest thing to stop doing, all right, is procrastinating. Stop looking in the mirror. Stop thinking about it and just get it done, because your 20 minutes goes so fast. If you stop, it's such a small amount of time. So most people don't do something because they overthink it. So just don't overthink it. That's my answer. What's your answer? What's your thoughts? Someone only has 20 minutes a day. What should they do? And then what should they stop doing? Yo. Okay. What exercise do you think is overrated, but everyone still swears by it? Ooh. Bench press. As much as I love bench press, it's definitely overrated. It's one of those exercises in the gym that people just love to go get a good pump, especially obviously lads do that. They just big chest, and the bench press as itself, as its isolation, yeah, it's big, it looks good, I suppose, but it in the real world, you're never you're never held up against something just to push. So, you need stability when you're in sports. So you need to have the glute stability, hip stability, knee stability, core stability and strength, shoulder stability and strength. And so for me personally, I don't know if this is going to rattle some cages or not, but yeah, bench press is the overrated exercise that everyone swears by. For me, what's yours? Cardio weight before exercises, or weights before cardio, and why? That's a pretty good common question, actually. What should you do first? A variation, it depends on what you're trying to achieve. So for example, a lot of bodybuilders will do their weight resistance first, and then they'll do cardio afterwards. Basically, they burn the glycogen out of the system, and then they just do low cardio for longer so they can burn body fat, so that it digs into their fat stores. If you are someone who's going to be doing like more endurance-based training, then you should do cardio, because strength training is more of something afterwards, and it's not about heavy strength training, right? In fact, I would not really even recommend doing one or the other. Focus on one, and if you want to improve your cardio, focus on cardio at that moment, and then come back later and do a weight training session, or vice versa. Or if you're someone who's looking for well-rounded and you just want to get that kick, so then you do your cardio and your strength training together. Now that might sound like a cop-out, but there's no specificity here in this question, and so yeah, as you can tell, there's different strokes for different folks, or different reasons for different seasons. Cool. So what's yours? What is your preference? Leave it in the comment section. What age does strength training become non-optional? For me, it's life. So even when you're younger, you find that children, by doing some kind of body weight exercises and things like that, training, even if it's just like simple labor stuff, then that's the good way to, it's strength training from then for the rest of your life. Strength is the one key fundamental that helps you to live. It allows you to support the bones, allows you to support the joints, allows you to relieve yourself of pain. For example, if you had a stronger back, if you had stronger hips, if you had stronger legs, you can walk further. Stronger hips means it allows you to stop and prevent injury. So when it comes to strength training, for me, it's literally just strength training whenever you can, as often as you can, from any age, from young to old. I don't want to say old, but experienced. So yeah, so at what age does strength training become non-optional? It's from birth upwards, pretty much. So let's say 3 onwards, I would say. And then here's one more, last one, fitness related one. What's one gym habit that's quietly destroying people's joints? Ooh, that's a good one. What's one gym habit that's quietly destroying people's joints? Probably incorrect core work, sit-ups, or the incorrect squat. An incorrect squat. That's the one that would destroy joints for me. Just because they're doing the mechanics, they're doing it all wrong. They put too much weight on their shoulders or on their body, and then they do the movements incorrectly. Their knee bows in, or their back curves over, and it's a horrible one. Although I suppose you could also say that about deadlifts. A lot of people do not understand the deadlift, the posterior chain, and so doing that exercise. Although it says a habit. Which habit? Someone could argue plyometrics, when it's done incorrectly, if you don't have the strength to support the impact on the joints. You look at a lot of gymnasts, there's a lot of impact on what they do, and a lot of them end up with really bad joints later on in life. So if it's in the gym, I have to probably say, if it's a movement, it's something to do with plyometrics. If it's a habit, it's not doing enough strength training to protect your joints. There you go. That's mine. All right, 5 down. Sports and performance questions. Are amateur athletes training too hard or too stupid? Too stupid. Yep. That's the biggest difference between an amateur athlete and a professional athlete, in my opinion. They don't get the help they need to train better, and so therefore they are doing stupid things too often. So, but I'm gonna leave this one straight up to you guys. Are amateur athletes training too hard or too stupid? Check in the comment section, let me know your thoughts. What separates people who stay active for life from those who quit? What separates? I think it's not, I think there's 2 phases when it comes to this. One is environmental, so what their upbringing. So you can take this question from the point of the people you surround yourself with, the lifestyle choices you make. That's what separates people from others, because when you're around environments, you're drawn by the energy, the excitement, as soon as you withdraw yourself away from this and go into isolation, you tend to, unless you're a very motivated person yourself or disciplined person, then you don't do as much or you don't do it as often. So the separator really is the environments they create or the upbringing they have, in my opinion. The upbringing they have or the environment they create. What's your thoughts? What separates people who stay active for life from those who quit? Let me know, yo. Okay, is pain a warning or a part of the process? This is a great one. I love this question actually, because a lot of people talk about pain. There's a type of pain. You can have a soreness, but if it's a soreness where you can't move, then you've overtrained, all right? So you should be sore. You should not be like, I think of it like a dull pain, not a sharp soreness. So dull pain, great. A sharp soreness, no. That's the warning sign. If you get a sharp pain, y'all done something wrong. My opinion. What's your opinion? Let us know. Comment section. Throw it in there. Fill it up. What's more important for performance? Talent or consistency? Consistency. Downtown. Now, there is a point that talent does have a dramatic advantage. I mean, if you're talented to me, it means that you've just been practicing something already, or you've got some call it genetics, and in some ways I'd say genetics, yes, as well. But genetics being from, like, I was brought up in an environment with a family that's very active. So as a young toddler, I would start like trying to walk, throw a ball, crawl, start to run, go in the paddocks on the farm. And so by living the life you live, you pick up habits that get sometimes considered talent. So I'm considered a talented sportsman, but it's because of the upbringing that I've had. Now, to get better or to be the best and stand out amongst other talented people, consistency. In fact, not just consistency, but volume of consistency. So the more volume you have of the sport you do or the exercises you do, and the more often you do it, obviously the more reps you put in, the more you're going to train, the better outcome you're going to have. So that's my answer for that one. What's more important for performance? Is it talent or is it consistency? You know what? Chuck it in the comment section. Over here. I think it's this side. I'm pretty sure. Should everyday people train like athletes, or is that a mistake? I think that's a loaded question in a way, because should everyday people train like athletes? Well, define what an athlete is. Define what part of the training process they are in. Because athletes in one sport are not athletes in another. And so you have a different starting point for a different purpose or a different outcome. And so people should train to become more athletic. Yes, that's what they should train like. But not if you've never done something, like if you're talking about, you just started running and you want to go and you're like, I want to do a marathon. And then you go, first training out the gate is 42K marathon. Well, no, that's overtraining. That's when the pain is going to kick in. Create a foundation, build. So the key is building. So yeah, in some ways, don't train like an athlete. Build. My thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Throw them in the comment section. In fact, you know what? That's beautiful. I think there's a lot of beautiful questions in that. I'm going to keep today's show real short. I'm going to throw out 10 questions. 10 questions for today. Those are my 10 questions. Those are my answers to those 10 questions. What are your answers to those questions? Throw them in the comments section. Let me know. All right. What I'll do is I'll probably do the next 10 tomorrow, and we'll try and see the differences between people's comments, what they think, their thoughts, their opinions on that side of things. It's a beautiful day, beautiful week. So there's some really good questions in there. Fitness and sports. And if you've got any questions that you particularly like to answer, or ask, I should say, then throw them in the comment section as well. Or if you want, jump on and just join me in for a quick live show tomorrow morning around 8 o'clock. Every morning, weekdays, just want to talk sports and fitness. Another thing that's happening at the moment is the Australian Open. That's underway. This means epic rallies. Just a shout out as well, the Desert Classic in Dubai is coming up shortly. There's another good one that's coming up. This weekend is packed, so look out for the calendar tomorrow on FFP Travels. Might actually start putting this on FFP Sports as well. There is just so many events that you can get involved in, and it's not too late. You can sign up on Thursday before the weekend to get involved with many different events that are taking place. UAE Storm Games is one happening down in Fujairah. The Cyber Run is happening in Abu Dhabi, and there's so many others that I've just, my brain's overloaded. So yeah, that's that one. This is the bit of the morning show, FFP live show, taking place weekdays with me as I build this and get more people on board to speak fitness, sports and wellness and adventure with you on a daily basis. So take care, stay active, stay connected.